Hello and welcome to my channel. In today's video I am going to do a short let's break it down video of how I made this Lala size build and how I made some of the furniture to fit smaller sized characters. So first off, I'd just like to explain how I made this door. The main part of the door consists of the back of this disordered wardrobe. The windows are the imitation shuttered windows turned around so that you don't get the shutters at the front. The letterbox is made using a Glade floor lamp. Over here we have a little seating and reading area. The bottom of the sofa is made to poke through the other side of the wall to create a small side table for the message book. This is done using the cheese collection. I've also added some pillows, some books, and the Glade couch. The ladder over here is made using the mahogany bunk bed. Unfortunately, I can't grab it to show you, but it's pretty easy to put into place if you just shove it into a wall. The small bulbs on the wall are made using the heavenly ornament. And this little table over here is made using the Hingen open shelf. Over here I made this little door to give the immersion that you're right in nature and that you can just exit into it. To make this little door, I used this showcase, as well as the bottom of this is a white rectangular partition and the side here is a wooden slat. Then the brick part is a brick counter and of course the fast escape. This little lamp here is made using the Glade stool. The pole is the dancing pole. This bowl here is a devil's salad bowl that's been all eaten up and emptied. And then these are the Glade lanterns. I used 2 of them to make it look a bit rounder. If you want to be more slot efficient, you can also just use 1. Over here in the living room, I have made a break it down of this couch before in my previous video. So if you're interested in learning how to make that, please go check that video out. And it will be timestamps in the description and you can just click on that to see how I made that. But the wall here is made using these wooden slats. There's approximately 8 of them for this wall. You could use more if you wanted to be an even tighter effect between the slats, but I didn't really feel like it was necessary and I was also running out of slots for this build, so I only used 8. This little table here is made using a Glade shelf, I believe. It's the same one here in the kitchen also, but it's just a Glade drawer table. The fireplace over here, I made using these Riviera partitions where you can apply whichever wallpaper you'd like, and I just applied the country wallpaper and then float them so that you get the amount of stones that you want on it. You could float a bit more up or down to get more or less depending on what you'd prefer. Here I made this little planter. It is using the same bowl as I'd used for the lamp, so it's the devil's salad bowl. And then the ivy part of it and the greens is this ivy pillar floated down and pushed into the wall so that you only get the ivy. Over here, you can see a lot of this housing build uses these kind of either panels or tables. In here, I kind of use them as counters as well. But they're all the same item and they're the Mirific Mog shelf that you can use. The only downside to this shelf is that at the top it will have a little sculpture thing. A picture of 2 Mughals on a book. But you can avoid using that by pushing it into a wall. And it's quite nice because it's nice and subtle and it really doesn't cost very much. So it's very good in terms of price, I think. the little TV I made, I wanted to make a different kind of TV, something smaller than what we've seen before. So because this is for Lalafels, I think it's quite appropriately sized for a TV. However, if you're making, for example, a TV for a larger race, I would recommend something else. But you could still use this and apply it to another scenario. For example, if you'd like to make like a computer by a desk or something like that, like a computer screen. So these just use the butterfly specimen, and then they're turned around and dyed black. The reason that they're not clipping onto this wall is because the wall is made out of this disorder wardrobe, which is the same ones that we'll use for the door. Would they have been any other kind of like a partition or something like that, they would clip onto it, so just be mindful of that. The bottom of the TV screen I made using this dragoon piece. This is optional, you could also just make it like hang on the wall, but I just like to add this as an extra touch. Here in the kitchen, I once again used the mog shelves like this. Here at the stove-top, I just use a simple table mat like this. And the vent is made using the chocobo counter. Then you have these red brick counters with the white rectangular partition. This is the same ones as I did in the previous. Let's break it down. Over here by the sink is also quite similar to that build. I used the carbuncle bathtub as well as the mahogany aqueduct. You can make a cute little planter using this honey pot and then putting it over a glade vase, or any vase really. Over here I made this cute little dining table. The dining table is very straightforward. It is really just a dancing pole and 2 shelves. But I like to just break down these little chairs that I made because they fit perfectly for Lalafels. So this little seating is made using this bread basket that's been all eaten up, and then the bottom of it, which is where you actually sit, is the glade stools that have been floated into the ground. If you sit on this, they will come up to the perfect height. And then for the loft, the wooden beams in it, I used some stage partitions. You can't really grab them, but I'm sure you know what they look like by now. And also these imitation wooden skylight. And that's about it. If you have any questions, please let me know. I hope that this was useful. Please don't hesitate to use any of these things for your own builds. I think it would be super cool to see it, and maybe if you use it, it would be really lovely if you want to tag me just so that I can see what you make. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, and thank you for your continued support.